This session, the Virginia General Assembly here in Richmond voted to kill a bill that would raise the state's minimum wage, citing the impact it would have on small businesses. That means the minimum wage in Virginia will continue to match the federal rate of just $7.25 an hour. This is disappointing news to the state's 83,000 minimum wage workers who struggle to earn a living despite working full-time.
Most of the jobs.
Monica, who asked us not to use her last name, is a Charlottesville resident who works for a temp service, mostly as a janitor. Monica earns $9 an hour and works full-time, but says she cannot afford an apartment in Charlottesville. Her income makes it difficult to save, and she has relied on temporary housing for the past few months.
I might work 40 hours, but after I work, that's not even enough to do the security deposit and all that, so. I've been looking for something based on my income.
The livable wage for a single adult in Charlottesville is around $12 an hour, according to a calculator developed by MIT. A livable wage allows the worker to meet a minimum standard of living. Anything below that makes it difficult to afford food, clothing, and adequate shelter.
Monica is looking for another job that would pay more, which has proven challenging. Since she can't afford her own computer, Monica relies on public services like the Jefferson Madison Library.
Most jobs, you got to do them online, and if you don't, I don't have access to a computer, so I have to go to the library to use the computer. And the library only give you like 30 minutes to do an application or something, and that's not enough time.
In Richmond, Democratic lawmakers want to help workers like Monica. This session, Senator John Edwards proposed a bill to gradually raise Virginia's minimum wage to $10.10 an hour by 2020. But he says Republicans, who control both houses, would not even consider it.
Get the Democrats in charge of the House and the Senate, and you'll see the minimum wage going up. Yeah. It's that simple, but you want to have a bit more complicated answer. Actually, a lot of things are fairly simple down here.
Republicans who oppose raising wages are concerned that a higher minimum wage would be too costly for businesses and drive them out of Virginia. Business owner and Republican delegate John McGuire says lowering the cost of doing business would encourage companies to expand in Virginia.
We need to take handcuffs off of businesses. If you put too many burdens and regulations on a business, then they're going to go to North Carolina, or they're going to go to South Carolina, they're going to go somewhere else. And so we need to incentivize them to come back here.
But Virginian workers haven't seen a raise in minimum wage since 2009. I asked Delegate McGuire how that was justified.
Do you think we're maybe due to adjust how we're paying our workers?
And what we've seen is that when you pressure companies with telling them how they've got to pay, then they automate more stuff and hire less people. So obviously, we all would love everybody to get the biggest paycheck, but that's, again, it's a free market.
Delegate McGuire believes lower paid workers should be able to increase their pay by returning to school or community college to earn skills or certifications for higher paying jobs.
If you're working at company A and they're not doing what you want, then you have a choice. You can study at night, work really hard, and earn a spot at company B.
But Monica calls that unrealistic. If you can't afford stable housing, you can't afford tuition.
I don't have the funds to go to school, so.
So you're stuck in these jobs that don't require a certificate.
Yes, ma'am.
For years, Democrats and Republicans have struggled to pass minimum wage legislation on which they both agree. Meanwhile, workers continue to labor for a salary below the poverty level. The next General Assembly session will bring with it new bills and hopefully an opportunity to discuss what a living wage means for Virginians. Reporting from Richmond, Virginia for WUVA News, I'm Kathleen Welch.